There
All
we
right.
go. We're live.
Yeah, we're live. Hey, everybody. It's Lynn, Ellie, Carol. I think in that order. I'm not sure which way you're looking. But anyway, we're here tonight, and we're real happy about this topic because you know what? The $1 Million Mission is all about this topic. And it's funny because we had a really powerful Monday Empower Hour call last night with Paul Hutchings. Man, he was something else. He was so good. And he brought up a lot of, really important, um, tips and strategies and things like that. But at any rate, what we have to do first is we got to toast to our $1 Million Mission.
That's right.
Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
So we're going to get into it, the power of belief and how it will transform your online home business or make money from home business or your professional career business or whatever, the power of belief. So I'm going to hand this puppy over to Carol. I'm going to have her start it off.
Okay. Wow, the power of belief. There is no power of belief. That's what I heard lately on somebody's blog. I read that. Belief has nothing to do with business, nothing to do with success. It all has to do with action. I don't quite go along with that. Again, we go back to the foundation. The foundation is mindset, and part of the mindset, to me, the most important part for the beginning, the early part, the very bottom layer of the foundation is belief. I have to believe in myself. I have to believe in my company. I have to believe in my product. If I don't have those three things in place, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? So yes, belief is very important. You know, this stuff too, it applies not only to business, it applies across your life. And it's funny, we talk about business, but all of this mindset business applies to everything. Applies to your relationships, your health, your family, whatever. Belief. Let me just pass this along to Ellie, since I just laid the very bottom foundation, and see where she goes with it.
Belief is everything. And I don't care what that other person said.
Right.
Okay? It's everything. Because you can learn all the technical you want. And I'm not just talking about in this business, all right? It's the same thing with why do take two young guys raised in the same neighborhood, fairly similar upbringing, go to the same schools, and they both go to Harvard or whatever, and they're going to be lawyers, okay? And they both do, well. They're getting good grades. It's very parallel. And then they go out there, and one really excels as a lawyer, and the other one goes here, goes there, floats there, never really gets it off the ground. Does okay, but the other one really excels. What is that? Now, some people will say, it's magic or something. And the magic is belief. The magic is belief. That one person believed in themselves, believed in what they were doing, believed in maybe that company they aligned with, maybe they started their own business, believed in their business, and really belief does start with believing in yourself. And I hate to say it, but I don't think most people are really taught that. It's not really taught. They kind of say it, and then everybody tells you what to do. So you don't learn to believe in yourself because they're telling you, no, do what I say to do. All right? Follow what I'm telling you to do. I know better. And I know people do that truly thinking that, they're doing you a favor, but they're not. Because you stop following your own knowing. Little kids believe in themselves. They just do. Watch them. They believe in themselves. If you tell a little 3-year-old that you're wrong, they tell you, no, I'm not. And as far as they're concerned, They're not. And they get adamant. You know, a lot of them put their hands on their hips and they'd be like, I'm not wrong. This is, and you're like, whoa. Because they have such a belief in themselves. You know, then we get older and somebody says you're wrong and we shirk down. We shrink. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. And we start, as a matter of fact, Carol, you just wrote a blog about where you were talking about how wealthy mindsets don't do that. And people that are wealthy, they don't do that. They have because they have the mindset of belief. So you have to cultivate that mindset. Yes, it's probably been knocked out a little bit. Okay, it's still there. It's just been kind of smothered. You know, it's been smothered over a little bit. And we have to learn how to believe in ourselves, how to believe in our own decisions. That blog post that Carol wrote there, she was saying that people that have middle class and poor people, they have a tendency to doubt their decisions. And then they take a long time to make a decision. If you take a long time to make a decision, you don't have self-belief. So there's a big difference there. Belief is everything. Do you have to learn stuff? Yeah, no matter what you're doing. Okay, you got to learn stuff. I don't care what kind of business you're doing, or you're just continuing on this journey called life. If you're not learning, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. You're not staying in the same place. Energy is not stagnant, and we are all energy, and it is all energy around us. So if you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. So it's like the first, I guess, area of learning is that belief, and like Carol said, believing in what you're doing. You know, I mean, we're with this company. I believe in this company. Did I research it? Yeah, I did. I got on the internet. Now, first of all, here's the best thing in the world. We had this conversation here, right? Didn't we say you could research potato chips and it would come up they were a scam? And somebody did it. Somebody that was with us on here, they got on Google as we were talking, they said, holy crap, they said potato chips are a scam. So I saw all the scam stuff, excuse me, for the company. But, you know, I also looked at it and realized the majority of them were really interesting sales pages for their own stuff, which I found pretty amusing. Not the way I would do business, but it's a pretty smart tactic. It really, really is, you know. I went beyond that. And what I really did was I got this information. I saw all this garbage over here. I saw all this stuff that I liked, and then I took it inside. And I'm not talking about like this took 3 months. This was like boom, 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 1, 2, 3. It just was. And there was a friend I knew who was in the business. So I went to her and said, just get me in. I didn't even watch the video. I just said, sign me up. So I was able to make that decision because I believe in myself. I believe where I'm going. I believe in what Carol and I can do as a team. And I believe in teams. I love teams. I just love that because isn't life really teamwork? You know, just life in general. You know, it's always teamwork. So it's everything is belief. So you better not tell me where that blog post is because I'm going to leave a comment.
Yeah, me too. I want to leave a comment on that one too because I understand where they're coming from though because you know when I got started in this company that I'm in today 2.5 years ago and I saw the video. See, I was coming from corporate, you know, a corporate mindset and real estate lending and all that kind of stuff and being so structured and I was self-teaching myself social media, so I knew social media. But getting into this, you know, making money from home, online, and, you know, internet marketing, this was all new to me. I mean, totally new to me to make it work, to actually make it work. So when I got started, I felt like, well, I don't need to read. I don't need to listen. I've got all that, all that inside me. I know who I am. But really, belief starts with what is it that you really want. That's where it starts from. You can't take action if you don't know really what you want. And the wanting stage, that's cultivated as you grow with yourself, believing in what you believe in, because you're learning, as Carol was saying, you're learning and you're growing and you're expanding. And when you're doing that, then you're creating or cultivating this self-belief inside of you. Well, guess what happens? Then it turns into this self-confidence. The self-confidence comes out. People just, when you talk, when you communicate, when you write a blog post, when you do a video, when you do all those things, that confidence, that self-belief comes through. I mean, it really does. And I remember a very good friend of mine that Carol and Ellie both know, basically she turned out to be my mentor. I ran into her at a event, and I went up to her and I said, I really appreciate the things that you share, and her husband, and I said, I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. And she goes, well, that's the first thing that you're doing wrong. And I said, what's that? And she goes, you don't even believe in what you're doing. And I said, what? And the more we talked, the more I understood, hell yeah, I'm learning all this stuff, but I really don't believe it because I don't understand how it all connected. And I didn't need to really understand that. I just need to believe that she was making it work and others before me in this company are making it work. I just need to believe enough in myself right now to get out there and push forward, and that's where the action takes place. So, I know I can kind of understand where that person might be coming from with the actions and that kind of thing. I mean, I can kind of understand that. But for my story anyway, I needed that kick in the pants. And I'm telling you, after that event, I started to make some money and things like that, but not as fast as I thought I was supposed to. So I'm getting down on myself, the same pity party and all this kind of stuff. And so I'm messaging her on Facebook, and I still have the note that she wrote me, and pretty much, because the reason why I loved her as the mentor is she didn't sugarcoat anything. She's, right, direct, I told you, right? And that's what I needed. And I still have the message. She said, you know what, Lynn, it still goes back to belief. You've got to believe in yourself, and the confidence will follow. And that's, all your results and your success will follow too. So, so I kind of see where that one person was going to as far as the actions, especially when you start a new business and all that kind of thing. But I think it's a cultivated, type of thing. So that's my 2 cents.
All right. Well, let me take a look at beliefs. What are beliefs? Where do they come from? Beliefs are an accumulation of thoughts. And so what? So where does all this come from? Well, it comes from 2 places. First of all, it comes from our Constitution. We're born with kind of a predisposition towards certain things and an aversion to other things. And what we see, like I'll have my own perspective on it. You, Lynn, would have your perspective on it. Ellie would have her perspective on it. The other place that beliefs, thoughts come from are what people embed in our minds, usually starting from very young, and it usually starts off because they want us to be safe, they want us to be careful, and that's where it goes from there. And then we get into school, and they want us to join in and conform, because it's easier for them to deal with a classroom full of conformists than it is, each kid going his or her own way, for sure. And, so what do we do with these beliefs? As we go along through life, we find out that some of these beliefs that were taught to us, that were embedded in our minds, they don't work anymore. For example, Ellie tells a story about, I forget which way it was. I think it was her mother used to tell her she liked chocolate ice cream or something. So every time they'd go to a store, ice cream store, she'd order a chocolate cone. And then she found out one day, I don't like chocolate ice cream. I like vanilla ice cream. So it's that kind of stuff. Only, in business, it's on a little bigger scale. But we can change our beliefs, which is lovely. And we have these, Ellie's the expert on this, but we have these neural pathways, these, just as it says, pathways that go through our brain that are accustomed to reacting in a certain way. And if we want to change that, we react in that way because of our beliefs. So if we want to change that, we have to make a concerted effort, a very conscious and concerted effort to do something different. And it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with just one shot at it. It takes a while. Some people say 21 times. I don't know that I could pin it down to an exact number of times, but it does take a while. And then once you keep at it and keep along with the new pathway that you're developing, then your response, your reaction will begin to go in that direction. So therefore your beliefs can be changed. I want to go back to something that Ellie said about when you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. Years ago, I took a class in school on organizations, and I remember, it's funny, some of the stuff you remember, some of it gone, but I do remember the teacher saying this, when you have an organization, if it doesn't continue to expand and grow, it will die. And that's why bureaucracies are so concerned with focusing in on themselves, on the bureaucracy itself, and expanding it so that it doesn't die and it becomes a self-centered organization for that very reason. So that's some of us. I know I've worked for bureaucracies most of my adult life, and I'd get very angry many times at, why are they so damn backward? Why do they keep, doing this or doing that, or don't they see this or that or whatever? And they weren't so much interested in what I was interested in. They were interested in continuing their growth and their existence. So, I had to give them that. But applying it to us, we also are systems, organizations of a sort. We're human systems. And again, if we don't continue to expand, to grow, to further our beliefs, as you said, Lynn, to keep examining our goals, our intentions, our passions, our desires, our why, it's very likely we're going to just shrink up. So we have to keep and continue to pay attention to mindset. I know I keep thinking, oh man, yeah, that makes sense. I got over that one. Now I understand it. And I said, I got that down pat. 2 days later, bang, something else hits me in the head. And I say, oh man, I never thought of that. Now how am I going to deal with that one? So it's continual. It's a journey. It never ends. And that's why we have these speed bumps, these rough spots, if you will. Because, things come up that we're not accustomed to, or, again, the old beliefs that we had don't correspond to what's going on right now, and they're not going to help us, so we have to change them. And what was my point about that? Belief, yeah. So it's very, very important to have our beliefs in place, and if they need to be adjusted, to do so in order to get over these speed bumps and the rough spots. And when you're in business for yourself, Lord knows, there are many of them that come up. It's not a smooth sail. And that, that's part of the fun of it. If everything in life were that easy, we'd be bored to death. So on that note, I'll be quiet and pass it along.
A smooth sail is never really a smooth sail either. Somebody just calls it a smooth sail because they didn't have a lot of bumps that day. All right, but I don't believe there is such a thing. So it was chocolate ice cream. It's not that I don't like chocolate. I do. But I just thought that's all I like. And then I was in my 30s. Maybe I was 29. And I said, I'm going to get vanilla. I was like, I love this freaking vanilla ice cream. All these years, I didn't even know what kind of freaking ice cream I liked. Because I guess I liked chocolate when I was little, and then I would say, what kind of ice cream? My mother would go, oh, you're going to get chocolate, right? And I go, oh, yeah. I'm not blaming my mother, okay? But it's like, whoa, that's pretty interesting. So you all had to hear the story. This is how beliefs affect you. You know, they are embedded. Even when you talked before about perception, so much of your perception comes from your belief systems. So we're perceiving something, and is it really, do I need to perceive it that way? Because they're attached to a bunch of belief systems that in essence were given to me as I was growing up. And a tremendous amount are given to you until you're like 7, 8, like that. So that children really gather so much of that. A lot of it is about limitation. So, you know, I get parents are trying to keep kids safe and what have you. And then also, children are great observers, so they're watching how you live your life. But the story of the family and the little girl is at her grandmother's house, and her mother's there, and they're going to have Easter dinner, and they're making a ham. And the grandmother, no, the mother is cooking at the house, or at her house, sorry. The grandmother is already there. Her mother's there, and the little girl's there. The mother cuts the ham in half, puts it in the pan. Little girl says, Ma, why do you cut the ham in half? Woman says, oh, because my mother always did. Her mother's sitting right there. And she made the best ham ever. So the little girl says to her grandmother, Grandma, why do you cut the ham in half? Oh, because my mother always cut the ham in half. And she made the best ham ever. So now they come, they're just getting ready, and now somebody brings the great-grandmother in. The great-grandmother is there. So the little girl says, Mommy cut the ham in half. She said it's because her mother cut the ham in half, and they made the best ham, and it's because you cut the ham in half, and you made the best ham. What is that? Why did you cut the ham in half? And the great-grandmother's just sitting there kind of like, smirking. And she goes, oh, yeah, I made very good hams. Yes, yes, but why did you cut it in half? And she said, because my pot wasn't big enough for the whole ham. And this is generations. They have big pots now, okay? And they're cutting the freaking ham. Now, what's even better is, and they believe that ham is the best ham in the whole damn world, better than any other ham, because they cut it in half, because their mother cut it in half, whose mother cut it in half, whose mother cut it in half. And her pot was too little. You know, when you get to look at your own beliefs, sometimes you go, whoa, I can't believe I really believe that. Right? So, it's, you know, and Lynn was saying this before. Look, I'm not saying you need to believe in yourself 100% and in the business you're getting in or whatever, right off the bat, because forget that, okay? I think part of belief is being willing to step out and step up. Some people call it a risk. I don't know how big of a risk it is, but and step out of it. You know, so if you're looking at a business you want to get in, if you're looking in this business and you're thinking, I'd like to do that. You know, I'd like to be part of that community. I'd like to make money. I'd like to go to Vegas on an event. We're leaving. Well, Carol and I are leaving tomorrow, and Lynn's leaving the next day. We'll all be meeting in Vegas in a few days. So it's not that you have to have this 100% belief. You know, the greatest thing, which is what attracted me to this business, is people, we promote personal development big time here. And Lynn said it, you know, at first she was like, I don't need to read, I don't need to do this crap, right? And most people say that. Just show me the freaking business. I don't want to read them mindset books, personal development, whatever, you know. And it really is about them. But, you know, if you come in and you're like learning, and it's really you're learning more, you don't realize it, to adjust your belief systems. Because that other stuff, anybody can learn. This is not rocket science, what we do. It just ain't. So anybody can learn it. But if you don't have a belief system in place, and if you don't have a community that has a belief system in place, I mean, that's what's really important here. I could have done any other kind of business. I was already in business for myself, and I was by myself. And it wasn't fun. And it was more difficult. So to come into a community that not only is it an uplifting community, but they believe in you. So, you know, this is where, when you get that, then you go on this journey. When you get, it's about belief, and I might not have it 100%, and I just have to keep working the business and fine-tuning my belief. Getting more involved with the community, letting sometimes we don't let other people believe in us. Sometimes we don't even let that, we don't receive that. Let other people believe in me. And it's a journey. It's a journey. You know, and I'm all about enjoy the journey. I'll pass it. You're muted. We don't hear you.
Come on, Google. Finally, Google. See, Google's been doing hiccups today.
Yeah, see, earlier too.
I wanted to talk about what you were saying about the journey and the destination. And I'm glad we're incorporating that into this, because it's true. I mean, in the beginning, it's we mentioned this in past hangouts. Everyone's in this mad rush to, oh, I gotta make money, I gotta see results, I gotta do this and that. But you know, that actually hurts you, because this is a journey. You know, I mean, this is a lifetime success. This just isn't a flash in the pan. And if that's what you're looking for, and you know, you want the push button, whatever, then you know, you can go somewhere else, because our journey is the $1 million mission. And part of that mission is learning from each other and expanding and growing and achieving the kind of success that brings us lifetime success. And it does all boil down to that belief. And I'm glad you mentioned, Ellie, and I think Carol did too, about community. I'm telling you, I was never really a part of a community. I'm that type of person that, you know, I can take it or leave it when it comes to, you know, groups and stuff like that. But holy smokes, you know, I cannot believe the community I'm a part of today and have been for the last, you know, 2.5 years. And I'm telling you, the people that you meet, it's just incredible. And that's all part of adding to, you know, your self-belief, your self-confidence. And more importantly, you get to hear from these other people that are explaining their, you know, their journey, explaining, you know, their why and all this kind of thing, which helps you to trigger, oh yeah, you know what, that's what happened to me too. I never even thought of it that way. So this is how you do expand your belief and your why and everything out, your purpose and everything that gets molded into that each and every day. So as Carol mentioned, if you're not growing, then you know you're stagnant. And if you keep staying stagnant long enough, then you're actually dying. So you don't want to be doing that in your business, because business needs to move forward. You need to move forward. You need to move your team, your organization. You need to, you know, everybody needs to be moving forward, and it could be little tiny increments. You know, like I was talking on another mastermind about how we should celebrate people even if they get their first lead, right? Their first lead, like it's the first time that they set up an autoresponder and they got their first lead. You know what I mean? That's really exciting because that helps to build and put that notch on that self-belief, you know, as you're you know, going along this journey. And trust me on this, because this has happened to me when I started learning about solo ads. I didn't have a clue about solo ads, and when I was taking the training that was inside our 15K formula course, man, it just opened the doors to all this stuff that helped me to believe that I could do this. You know, it's again, it's the information. You get the information, you believe that you can do it, and then you can take the action. And that's how I wanted to share how you can transform your business, is understanding the journey, understanding that it can be little small increments each and every day, but guess what? They add up to the lifetime success. So I wanted to throw that out there. So I'm pretty sure Carol probably has a thing or two to say about that.
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I couldn't agree more with you about celebrating even the smallest, I hate to use that word, smallest success, because they are huge for some people. Like you said, when you're first starting out, it's huge to get your first lead. Now, sometimes you can, again, belief. You can fall into this thought pattern, belief pattern that, oh my God, if I celebrate that, I'm a fraud. I'm being fraudulent. You know, because you hear all these people, these six-figure earners and seven-figure earners, and, you know, what am I doing celebrating a lead, for God's sakes, you know? Why should I do that? I shouldn't do that. People are going to think I'm a nut. But not so, because, as you say, Lynn, that, again, is a foundation upon which you build and build and build and expand yourself, your business, and it just continues to grow from there. It's like popcorn. And yeah, I wanted to give an example of somebody that Ellie and I know, and you're going to meet her, Lynn, too, from the other side of the world. And she came over for this event. She's already there. And it was a very big deal for her. She has 3 little kids and a husband, and he was good enough to support her in all ways, financially for this trip, and emotionally, and in terms of, you know, making himself available to take care of the kids and what have you while she's gone. Now, I've known her for over a year. Ellie has known her for longer than that. And, you know, talk about road bumps that we've all gone through. She's gone through these road bumps and, you know, has been doing, and thinking that, you know, she was doing everything right. Why is it not getting bigger? And she has 2 reasons. Number one, she wants to help expand her family into bigger and better things than what they have. Not that there's anything wrong with what they have, but she wants them to be even more comfortable. And she has, what's the word I want, a passion about, you know, what she wants to do in her community, small community and larger community. She has a deep, deep passion about that. And she's come to the realization that without money, there's not as much as you could do if you have money. So that has exacerbated her desire to expand her business. And I've seen a couple of comments that she's put up on social media and a couple of videos in just the couple of days that she's been in Vegas, and she was actually in tears in one of them, that she is learning so much and being inspired so much, and her belief is deepening so much. As much as she had a belief in order to sustain her through these times, it has deepened so much more in just a couple of days that she's been at the event. and it's extremely inspirational to watch her. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
You know, of course I know who you're talking about. I know her a long time because we met online doing some other stuff, you know, and then met here. But here's the deal. Not just in her business. I just see it so much. People. I'm not even going to be funny and say don't make $1 million in a week. I don't think anybody really expects. Maybe some people really think, can I make $1 million in a week? But they don't make 6 figures even, you know, in a few weeks, and they're gone. This, you know, they get discouraged, and they're gone saying, "Oh, this business don't work." You know, now I find that quite amusing because the business is still here. People are still growing, expanding, making money. Okay, new people are coming in, so the business works. So I just, when somebody says, "Oh, the business don't work," and then some of them will say, "Oh, well, it's not for me." Well, whatever, you know, maybe it really is, but I don't know about that. Okay, it's you know, it really comes down to there's a belief involved. It's a self-belief. I don't even think it's a belief in the business. If you don't have a self-belief, you can't believe in the business. You know, you've got to cultivate that. And when you hit an obstacle, that's what happens. So there's a little bit of belief, and they hit an obstacle, and it didn't go the way they wanted it to go, or their car breaks down, and they got to put out more money, and they're like, and they start freaking out. That is when you have to dig into belief the biggest. All right, and in yourself, knowing I've set my vision. All right, and if you call it God or you call it universe, whatever it is, okay. For me, I say the universe. Universe knows, okay, where I want to go, and the universe always says yes. We won't get into that conversation. It'll take a lot of hours here, but I believe that. Okay, that the universe always says yes. So I'm not going to let this so-called obstacle get in my way. As a matter of fact, people that have good belief will learn to call obstacles opportunities. Because every freaking thing that goes on in your life is an opportunity. And who was it? I don't know if it was Dale Carnegie or Napoleon Hill or one of them who said, in every adversity lies the seed of something greater, something like that. In other words, it's an opportunity. That's what they were saying. Everything is. If you take the time, you can find a way. Now, if you go into this is not an opportunity, this is destroying me, that's all you'll eventually say. So this stuff, I get it. If your car breaks down, you're like, yeah, what's the opportunity? No, lots of times you don't see it right away. I still go, okay. Sometimes I'm annoyed. I say it through gritted teeth, okay? I don't got angel wings. Somewhere here there's an opportunity. There's a relief when you do that. You don't even realize it. There's a relief. There's a release. And if you, down the road, you know, hindsight is golden, right? I can look at all these things in my life that was other people called so-called disasters. There were times in my life I did too. And they weren't. They were truly opportunities. I can see it now. So, you know, I can look back and go, oh, if that so-called bad thing hadn't happened, I wouldn't have made these adjustments, or I wouldn't have turned here, or I wouldn't have done that. So when things don't go the way people want them to go is usually when that belief shatters. Okay, and that's when you know it was very fragile. It was very fragile. And I get that. Again, we started off saying, you know, you usually don't have a strong belief in yourself. So that's the journey. The journey is, all right, as I continue this personal journey and working a business and being with the community. So I'm learning and I'm absorbing and I'm implementing. You know, that's why that guy wrote that post. So many people say they believe and they take no freaking action. There is absolutely no way on earth, okay, that you really believe something that you're not taking action on. There isn't. You're bullshitting, okay? You don't really believe it. It's simple. You would otherwise take the action. So if you say, I believe, and then you're not doing nothing, no. You don't believe. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe you can do this. You just don't. People that believe get up in the morning excited. People that believe get up like, okay, what are we going to do today? Let's go do it. So it's not about, that's why that person, there's a lot of people who say they believe and they take absolutely no action. That's not belief. It's a lie. It's outright, it's just a bunch of words without anything really behind it. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox.
I loved it because I liked what you said about the opportunities, you know, that the obstacles are actually opportunities. And that's really, really a good point because, you know, you never want to say that you fail. Failure isn't, it's just an opportunity or it's a learning lesson. You know, that's what these are. They're learning opportunities. But it also made me think about, because I wrote a blog post about everyone starts from zero. And I think everyone starts from zero even in their belief in what they're doing, especially when it comes to business. Because like Carol and Ellie both mentioned about, you know, our upbringing and things that have been, you know, how we perceive things or things that, you know, we were taught or learned or whatever, you know, through childhood and then through, you know, our jobs and all that kind of thing, school. But, you know, we start from zero. And interesting enough, I mean, look at some of these, you know, really successful people that we follow that went bankrupt. Right? But they still had the belief in themselves. They got to a point where they believed in themselves so much. But sure, we all make mistakes. We all, you know, stumble. But that didn't knock them out of the ballpark. They came right back. I mean, there is story after story after story after story about people that have bounced back because they still had that belief inside to do so. And, you know, somebody was asking about, you know, saturation. Well, isn't, you know, like our company or other companies saturated, you know, and I always come back with, well, what about Walmart and Target and McDonald's and all that? It has nothing to do with that. You know, business is business. If you have something to sell, you can sell it. But it starts with your internal, what it is inside of you, of why you wanted to start the business in the first place. And then, like we're mentioning today, the belief that you have to keep it going, to keep it fueled, to keep that journey rolling along. So when you have these, you know, these opportunities that get in your way or are there for you to take, you're able to respond on that and take the action that you need to take. And another thing that we brought up in the mastermind was this thing out there that new people that are wanting to come in to network marketing or make money online or, you know, work from home and all this kind of stuff, especially you know, you have the young, you know, the young kids, I call them, and then you have the middle-agers, and then you have the baby boomers, and then you have, you know what I mean? We have all these different types of people that are now coming into this industry. That is the biggest thing that we were talking about. How do you, you know, how do you talk to them? What is the first thing that they really should be doing? And it all boiled down to this, you know what, they got to believe in what we've set in front of them, and then, you know, taking the action. So I don't know, I think this is, like I said, this was going to be, I feel like, one of our better hangouts because this is so important, and I hope that, you know, people will watch the replay on this and really understand that, you know, what we're sharing tonight is, I believe, is gold. I mean, what Carol has shared, what Ellie has shared, this is gold. This is all part of your success. And I believe that if you really think about this and you really meditate on it and think about your own personal, where you're at today and where you want to be, then, you know, start analyzing and start, I guess, maybe even tearing yourself, you know, like that onion. I think Carol mentioned about peeling back the onion. You know, maybe it's time that you started doing that, and you start shedding away some things that are getting in your way to making you, you know, stay on that path of belief and having the success that we all know that you can have. So, you know, that's my pep talk for tonight.
Well, that's one hell of a pep talk. um, Bankrupt, yes. Funny thing, it's not bankruptcy, that's not funny, but as I started to read some of these personal development books a few years back, so many of them who today are extremely successful people started off with nothing. Either they lost it or they never had it, one of the two. And lately, I have been asked in different venues to, you know, tell a little bit about myself and how I got into this business. And I said to Ellie one day, you know, I don't have a story. I've never been bankrupt. You know, what can I tell people? But then I realized you don't have to have been bankrupt in order to have a reason to be in this business and to believe in it, to believe in other people who are in it. Belief and action. I'm going to go back to that, and you've both discussed this to some extent. One of the people whom I follow is Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, and they talk about inspired action, and it's an emotional journey. And in a sense, that's what we're saying here. It's you know, belief, emotions. You know, are you positive about what you're doing? And I used to ponder this a lot, and I busted Ellie's chops all the time, saying, you know, how do you know when it's inspired action? How do you know when you're inspired? Or, you know, because you can't just sit back and not do anything. You have to do something. And Abraham says that, you know, the best action that you can take is inspired action. That's most likely to lead to success. And finally, one day I heard Abraham say, it's inspired action. You know it's inspired when wild horses couldn't keep you away, couldn't stop you from doing it. So then it hit home. I got it. So I would say that yeah, not just any old action, but when you're highly motivated, inspired to move along and to do something, try something different, continue along in what you've already started, that's inspired action, and, you know, go for it. Go for it. So that's what I have to say. That's my 1.5 cents.
No. Inspired action comes from a why. And you know what? So does a belief. So we're going back all the way around, because I think we actually talked about a why earlier. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. You really do. You know, I know to get more money. I get that. But there's a bigger purpose. Because if all of a sudden they decided to render money useless, what the hell good is money? You don't do it for money. You do it for freedom. Now, I would say that's the core in everybody. Okay, time freedom. You know, life freedom, making your own choices. Freedom calls. So it really is good to sit down, because if people get in, and I see this, they get into this business or other businesses, and they go, yeah, I'll try this, and if I don't make money in 3 months, I'm out. You just set yourself up. I promise you, you set yourself up for crap. You know, so it's great to say, In 3 months, here's my goals, and then shut up, all right? Say I'm out if they don't come down. So set out an intention. This is what I want to. This is where I want to go in 3 months from now. And you can feel whether you believe you can do that or not, all right? And then, you know, if you're not taking the action to get there and you've set your goals, and, you know, well, please, old dead horses are stopping you, all right? It's not, so it's, you don't believe you can get that goal. To get that, so what do? Well, when you're in a community, you start talking to people. Maybe it is, all right? Maybe you make $25,000, $30,000 a year, and you're saying, okay, so I don't know what is that, not even $3 grand a month, but let's say you have $2,000, $3,000 a month, and you're saying, I want to make $20,000 a month in 3 months. Have we seen people do that? Yes. So it's not totally impossible, but your brain has a hard time stretching to that. Are you nuts? You make $2,600 a month. Now you want to make 20 in 3 months? Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible. It's not. It's possible. But you have to believe it. So here's the better thing to do. Dial it back a little bit. Okay? I'd really like to see, I'd like to match my income. Okay? I'd like to match my income in my business. I'm making $2,600 a month. I want to make $2,600 a month in my business. Or up it. I want to make $4,000 a month in my business in 90 days. Making 26. Now I could leave my job. Now I could leave my job and still be making more money. Now, if you're still not taking action, you got to read more, okay? Because you don't believe it. That's what the community is for. And I promise you, not only will people uplift you, they'll also tell you, go read this book, go listen to this audio. This is where you got to go. So it's true, if you believe in where you're going, wild horses won't stop you. But you've got to have a why. You've got to acknowledge that. Okay, I'm good.
Well, I think on that note, I mean, wild horses won't keep us back from going to Vegas. I'm telling you that right now. And I think on that note, you know, we could wrap up another, you know.
Yeah, we got to go pack.
What's that?
We got to go pack. We're not packed yet.
Oh, that's right. I know. I'm done with my laundry, so I'm going to be packing tomorrow. And so, you know, we're just glad everybody, you know, anybody that is here live, awesome. And anybody watching the replay, awesome. Take action. But you know what? Find out what your why is and believe in what you're doing. You know, I don't know if Carol or Ellie want to mention any last little tidbits here.
If you can dream it, that's the truth.
There's Carol.
I have something, but I'm going to save it for another time. It's about the energy of money. We'll talk about that another time.
They'll have to come back.
People have to stay tuned, and we might do something special from Vegas too, right, gals?
Yeah, we'll see what we're doing.
That would be cool.
I know. All right, Ellie, you want to toast us out?
Let's take the toast. I believe in you. I do. I believe in everybody. I do. Anybody can do what they dream they want to do. They can. I believe in you. You need to believe in you.
Power of belief. Cheers.
That's it. Cheers.
Oh, I have to drink first, then I'll shut us out. I can't multitask. All right, we're going. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye.